is the time before Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, a special time. Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liadi gave a tremendous parable for this time, and he explains that a king, before he comes to the palace which is found in the city, has to travel through a field. The king is dressed down, is traveling with his entourage, and the people who are found in their weekday clothes doing their work come out to greet the king. The king is happy and is smiling to everyone, and everyone has the ability, the permission and ability to come and ask the king whatever they like. The king eventually comes to the palace and is found in the most inner part of the palace. He's wearing there his royal garb, and those in proximity to the king have a certain awe thrown on them by looking at him. To see the king, not everyone can do. You have to be a privileged individual. To get to the king, it's not so easy. You can't go straight to the king. You have to go through many gates, many entrances, and at each entrance there are guards, and at each entrance the guards are checking your credentials, whether you're proper to go and see the king. Which is not the case when the king is in the field. The king in the field is open to everyone. Everyone has that permission and the ability to go and ask whatever they want. And this is a parable for the month of Elul, which we are presently in, which is the month, Jewish month before Rosh Hashanah, and a parable also for the time between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, God relates to the world as like a king in his palace. The world and the Jews in general feel there's something a bit different. In fact, you'll find Jews who will not go to synagogue the rest of the year. They'll feel, because of this godly revelation, they'll feel, this time I've got to go. During this time of Rosh Hashanah, I've got to do something extra. Which is not the case during this month of Elul, where it really comes from the person's own initiative. The king is in the field. You can go and ask directly. It's easier to ask. But it has to come from you. How does one go out to the kingdom? We relate to Hashem, to God, as our Father in heaven, our loving Father in heaven. But during this month of Elul, there also has to be the recognition that He's our King. That means that Judaism just can't be something where one thinks, what can God do for me? One has to think, what can I do for God? He's my King. So to greet the King, one has to do something extra, something beyond one's habit, beyond one's rote. That can mean learning a bit of extra Torah, setting aside some time during the week, or helping someone out you wouldn't normally help out, and that's a mitzvah of loving your fellow Jew, or sanctifying God's name, giving a bit of extra charity, or making sure that our mezuzahs and our tefillin are kosher, and so forth and so on, with all the different mitzvahs, like tefillah, like prayer, a bit of extra concentration when we say the words, and so forth and so on. By doing this, we go beyond ourselves. We go out and we go to greet the King. At that time, we can then ask whatever we would like for a good and sweet upcoming year. And it should be that this upcoming year should be a good and sweet year, and especially with the coming of our righteous Redeemer, Mashiach. May He come now. Think about it.